Hello, 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 and we are now on our final of the 10 episodes discussing how God is continuously with us. We have discussed an amazing idea. God is with us in the physical realm. He is our soul, or at least He creates our soul, our unique personality. He's creating the inventions that make the world come to this messianic state, the great tzaddikim, the profound souls that show us God, the miracles that show us God. We are in an awesome, awesome relationship with God. He gave us the Torah, direction. We said that He continuously teaches us. We have growth. Sometimes we go through difficult things, but all of that is only to grow. We have so many incredible miracles that are occurring. Eventually, we reach what's called the Messianic age. And this, as the Rebbe, the great Moses of our time, told us, has already, in a sense, begun. We know there's a famous prophecy that God would send the Jews out of Israel and then He would bring them back. And this prophecy obviously has begun to occur. Millions of Jews. Never happened in any time in human history that an ancient nation that left their homeland would return thousands of years later. It is a clear miracle of God. Now, one of the greatest aspects of the soon-to-be Messianic redemption, which will include not only a redemption for the Jews, but a redemption for the Gentiles. In fact, the Rebbe says one of the unique aspects of the Mashiach is He'll be the Mashiach of everybody. In the way King David was there for the Jews, and many Gentiles attached themselves to the great Jewish prophets. Certainly Christianity and Islam, that's probably half the world, revere the Jewish prophets. But in fact, they do recognize that the Jewish prophets came to the Jews. But in essence, Mashiach will be the teacher of all people. But in an even deeper level, what will happen in the Messianic age is that all people will connect directly to God. This is what it says, Nobody will teach another, for all will know me. All will have an intimate, infinite, personal relationship with God. And this is very similar to what happened to Elijah the prophet, that God told him to go to a mountain, and the other side was another mountain, and the mountain, I think there was an earthquake, it broke into two, and it says that was not God. And then there was a big fire, it says that was not God. Then there was a small, humble voice, and it said that was God. And this is the voice of God that has come. I'm sure it's come to you. 64% of the world, based on Gallup poll, believe that they have heard the voice of God. And it really comes into our reality. This is what's called dira b'tachtonim, that God wants to live with us in our dimension, in our mundane or spiritual lives, and both together. As the Rebbe would always bless people, that it should be good physically, it should be spiritually, and both together. Now, I want to reveal to you a very simple way, which really changed my life. I read this in Zvi Freeman's book, 365 Meditations, that I really suggest you read, and it comes from the Rebbe. And it says, if you want to hear the voice of God, you want to know what God wants you to do, just ask. And the first thought that comes to mind after you ask is His reply. God can come into your brain. I mean, if I created a computer program, I certainly can, speak to the guy inside the computer. If I could have two people speaking to each other, I certainly can be the third person and speak to them. In the beginning of time, God speaks to Adam. Now, unfortunately, he didn't listen and caused a bit of chaos, but we are entering the time where it says that we will all receive prophecy. We will all receive the voice of God. And this is a simple technique by which you can do so. And this again shows us how connected God is to us in our reality, that He is available at all times, in all places. And what's very important to understand about the voice of God is that it is infinite. We are never in a finite reality. Life is always growing. And this is, in fact, the first message that was ever given to a spiritual seeker, Abraham, and it was Lech Lecha. Go into your own soul. Go to the deepest part of you, which is, in essence, God. And let that part, through your connection to God, as we have discussed how, let that be your guide. Abandon all the silliness of human megalomaniacs and dictators and all their stupid ideas, all these, they call it progressive. As I said before, it's far from progressive. It's regressive. It's actually bringing people into depression, and in certain age brackets, suicide has become the largest leading killer, even though people have more than ever before. So we see, the greatest proof that something doesn't work is that it doesn't work. And if something is destructive, not only does it not work, it's actually a negative force. We said before, it's only, statistically speaking, the people that are embracing God, embracing the Bible, that are actually loving life, and they're having the children, and they are, continuously growing. So really, as God says, you have two options. You have the path of life or the path of death. The path of listening to God, of always growing, of always seeing the miracle both in reality and in your personal reality, always able to grow and to give more. Live with the miracle. As Einstein, who was a great believer in God, said, there are only two ways to live life. One as though everything is a miracle, the other as though nothing is.